Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the sometimes boring, but always important world of corporate filings. Today we're diving into a Form 8K from HF Sinclair. It might sound like just another bunch of numbers and legal jargon, but hidden inside are clues about where this energy company is headed, so buckle up, it might get bumpy. HF Sinclair just released a presentation they're giving to investors. Think of it like a company's sales pitch to get people excited about their stock. Let's see what they're trying to sell us. First off, this isn't your typical quarterly or annual report. This is a Form 8K which companies use to announce important events to investors. The earliest event reported in this form happened on March 21-25, 2025. HF Sinclair is based in Dallas, Texas. Their main business is energy, specifically refining and marketing petroleum products. They sell gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other stuff that keeps our cars and planes running. Their stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol DINO. The real meat of this filing is that HF Sinclair is sharing a presentation with current and potential investors. This is all about making sure everyone has the same information at the same time. No insider secrets allowed. Now, before we dive into the investor presentation itself, let's understand why companies do this. They want to attract investors, boost their stock price, and generally paint a rosy picture of their business. So we need to take everything with a grain of salt and look for the real story behind the numbers. The presentation is attached as Exhibit 99-1. Let's jump into that. Since the actual presentation is an exhibit, we don't have the specifics in this 8K filing itself. However, we can infer the type of information likely included. Investor presentations typically showcase a company's strategy, recent performance, future outlook, and key investment highlights. They may include financial data, market analysis, and details about ongoing projects. It's all about convincing investors that the company's strategy, recent performance, future outlook, and key investment highlights. They may include financial data, market analysis, and details about ongoing projects. It's all about convincing investors that the company's strategy, recent performance, future outlook, and key investment highlights. They may include financial data, market analysis, and details about ongoing projects. It's all about convincing investors that the company is a good bet. HF Sinclair will likely talk about things such as the acquisition of the Sinclair Oil Corporation a few years ago and the rebranding that followed, which turned HollyFrontier into HF Sinclair, because investor presentations usually focus on how a company is performing and how it is going to do better in the future. In these meetings with current and potential investors, the company will likely address the financial aspects of all recent transitions and acquisitions and make projections about the future performance of the company. The executives might talk about how combining Sinclair's marketing with HollyFrontier's refining assets are supposed to create a more profitable business. The company executives might emphasize their commitment to sustainability, highlighting efforts to reduce emissions and invest in renewable energy projects. Given the current focus on environmental concerns, any investor presentation would likely touch on these topics to appeal to environmentally conscious investors. The presentation might also mention plans for capital spending, meaning how the company intends to invest in its assets, for example, modernizing refineries or expanding retail locations. Details on how the company plans to fund these investments and the projected returns investors can expect are critical parts of that information. In investor presentations, the company might include charts showing comparisons with other companies in the oil refining industry and how HF Sinclair is better than others, and show how the company creates more value for its shareholders. This is often done by comparing financial metrics like return on invested capital or earnings per share. Overall, the investor presentation probably aims to reassure current investors and attract new ones by highlighting HF Sinclair's strengths, strategic initiatives, and growth potential. To cut big picture, HF Sinclair operates in a cyclical and competitive industry. Oil prices go up and down, demand changes, and there are always other players trying to grab market share. So it's important to consider these external factors when evaluating the company. One thing to keep in mind is HF Sinclair's debt. Companies sometimes take on a lot of debt to grow fast or do acquisitions. Debt can be a good thing if it leads to higher profits, but it can also be a risk if the company struggles to pay it back. We don't know the exact details from this filing, but it's something to watch out for in future reports. Another consideration is HF Sinclair's ability to adapt to the changing energy landscape. With the rise of electric vehicles and renewable energy, traditional oil companies need to innovate and diversify to stay relevant. How well HF Sinclair is doing in this area will be a key factor in its long-term success. And so what's our take on HF Sinclair after looking at this filing? The company seems to be trying to put its best foot forward, highlighting its strengths and growth opportunities. However, it's important to remember that this is just one piece of the puzzle. We need to dig deeper into their financial reports, industry trends, and competitive landscape to get a complete picture. The investor presentation itself is not provided within this filing, so it is hard to make a full assessment of the company's direction and plans. A good assessment would require a deeper dive into the topics discussed during the presentation. Based on what is included in this SEC filing and publicly available information, HF Sinclair's strengths appear to lie in its established refining operations and its expanded retail network following the Sinclair acquisition. However, weaknesses might include reliance on volatile oil prices, the need to manage its debt effectively and adapt to the shift towards cleaner energy sources. Notable risks include economic downturns that reduce demand for fuel, regulatory changes that increase compliance costs, and competition from other energy companies. Opportunities exist in expanding its renewable energy portfolio, improving operational efficiency, and capitalizing on growth in the transportation sector. Overall, HF Sinclair appears to be at a crossroads. It has a solid foundation in traditional oil refining, but it needs to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the changing energy market to ensure its long-term success. Investors should carefully consider these factors before making any decisions about the stock. Thanks for watching. If you found this corporate decoder video helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into the world of corporate filings. We'll keep digging into the numbers and bringing you the real story behind the headlines.